Welcome to Fastball English. Today is a special one. We are looking at than versus then. Than versus then. Don't be one of the people that confuses this. This is a simple issue. Than versus then. Than, remember, will have to do with comparison. And then will have to do with sequence, a point in time. Okay? So you can think of it as than is this versus that. I'd rather have this than that. And then is this, comma, then that. I want to do this, then that, then, T-H-E-N. All right, let's look at some sentences. For then, we'll look at then first, okay? My bike is faster than yours. See the comparison? My bike is faster than yours. There's no time, there's no sequence, there's no order of something. So you wouldn't say, my bike is faster than yours. That wouldn't really make any sense because you're comparing the bikes. You're comparing the bike's speed, right? My bike is faster than yours. So then we'll always have two things being compared. She's more patient than her brother. We gotta get some new markers. This is ridiculous. She's more patient than her brother. So the patience between them is what's being compared. She's more patient than her brother. I'd rather go to the beach than stay home. So the two things being compared, what are they? What you want to do today. I'd rather go to the beach than stay home. My bike is faster than yours. She's more patient than her brother. I'd rather go to the beach than stay home. All right, let's look at our then now. Time, sequence, consequence, order. Then, point in time, right? We ate lunch, then we went shopping. Remember how we said than is this versus that, and then is this, comma, then that. We ate lunch, then we went shopping. And this makes sense because you couldn't use than anyway. We ate lunch, then we went shopping. That doesn't make any sense. We ate lunch, then we went shopping. It's a point in time. There's an order to the things you're doing. It's an order of activities. Okay? We ate lunch, then we went shopping. If you, teacher says, if you study, then you'll do well on the test. If you do this, then that. If you study, then you'll do well on the test. So that's the order. We ate lunch first, then we went shopping. If you study first, then you'll do well on the test. Okay? He tried, I'm sorry, he tied okay, do well on the test. He tied his shoes, then ran out the door. He tied his shoes, then ran out the door. See the order? It's beautiful. We ate lunch, then we went shopping. If you study, then you'll do well on the test. He tied his shoes, then ran out the door. You should never confuse these again. Than versus then. All right? All right, got some examples for you today. I would rather have tea blank coffee. Which one? So when comparing two things, you use than, right? So tea is being compared to coffee. I would rather, it's a preference. This is better than something else. I would rather have tea than coffee. We went to the park and we got ice cream. We went to the park and blank, we got ice cream. So there's an order, point in time, there's a sequence, a da-da-da-da and a da-da-da-da. So that's when you use then. We went to the park and then we got ice cream. Back blank, phones didn't have touch screens. Again, which one has to do with time? Back blank, phones didn't have touch screens. Back then, good. Back then, phones didn't have touch screens. She's smarter blank most students in her class. So the comparison is intelligence between the students. She's smarter than most students in her class. If you finish your homework, blank, you can play games. If goes with then. If you finish your homework, then you can play games. Good. He ran faster, blank, anyone else in the race. He ran faster, blank, anyone else in the race. So speed is what's being compared here. He ran faster than, good, anyone else in the race. And we only got about 500 more of these. We had lunch, blank, took a walk by the river. So there's an order. We had lunch, and then something happened. We took a walk by the river. We had lunch, then took a walk by the river. If it costs more, blank $10, I'm not buying it. Comparing the cost of something, and our comparison is, which one is our comparison? Than. If it costs more than $10, I'm not buying it. Study hard and blank, you'll pass the test. We kind of had a sentence like this, right? Study hard and then you'll pass the test. My backpack is heavier, blank, yours. My backpack is heavier than yours. She worked all morning, blank, went out to meet her friends. So this is an order. She worked all morning and then something happened. What happened? She went out to meet her friends. So she worked all morning, then, comma, the comma usually gives it away. She worked all morning, then went out to meet her friends. I'd rather sleep in blank, get up early on the weekend. I'd rather, there's that rather word for comparison of desire, right? I'd rather sleep in than get up early on the weekend. I'd rather sleep in than get up early. He is much stronger than he looks. I already know it's than because he's comparing strength, much stronger than something else. He is much stronger than he looks. Comparing his strength to his looks. First, you mix the flour and eggs. So we have an order, which is going to be which one? First, you mix the flour and eggs, blank, you add the milk, comma, also. First, you mix the flour and eggs, then, good, you add the milk. The movie was longer than I expected. The movie was longer than I expected. We waited for 20 minutes and only blank did the bus arrive. We waited for 20 minutes, that's what's first, and only then did the bus arrive. She's more confident now, blank she was last year. She's more confident now than she was last year. If you want to go, comma, if, there's our if you want to go, then get your shoes on. No one is better at drawing, blank Mikey. No one is better at drawing, blank Mikey. Which one? No one is better at drawing than Mikey. Good. We clean the room, blank, set up the decorations. Then. Good. Excellent.